Don't you hate it when you drop your blush or eyeshadow and it breaks completely? And you don't know if you want to spend those extra $40, $20, or $30 to buy a new one? Well, don't waste your money, because today I'm going to teach you guys how to repair it in just a couple easy steps. And all you will need is 70% alcohol, rubbing alcohol. I recommend 70%, but you can use any alcohol you want, or you prefer. You will also need a Ziploc bag. I prefer smaller ones, so if you get a big one, you're not wasting it. So a basic baggie. A butter knife, tissue paper or toilet paper. I don't have tissue paper, so I'm just using a basic toilet paper. A flat surface. You can either use a coin or a kabuki brush. Since I don't have a kabuki, I'm just going to use the top of my concealer. If you guys are asking, it's a Superstay 24-hour concealer. And I'm just going to use that as a flat surface. And the star of the video will be my matte blush powder. As you can see, it's the one I used in some of my videos. Sadly, it broke, but not to worry, we're going to be fixing it today. Optional. You can either use a phone timer or your kitchen timer. I'm going to teach you guys how to go from this to this. So the first thing you're going to do is open up your broken makeup of your choice. And then you're going to open the Ziploc bag and just pour it in there. And make sure you get enough of the makeup. And get my knife. And just see if I can get most of the excess off. Because every little mess of makeup is important. And you're just going to get all the air out of the bag and close it up. So all you have is this. And I'm just going to wash off right now the little makeup container. And I'll be right back. And now that it's all nice and clean, we'll close it up or open it up and just let that dry for right now. And what we're going to do right now with this bag of blush or eyeshadow, anything like that, we're going to take the knife and break it into like powder, basically. And you just want to do this slightly, just to break off any big pieces. And that's what you're just going to be doing. Just breaking apart and making it into like a little powder, basically. And you could either leave it like this and just use it like a loose powder. You're still going to get the same effect, but that's just one way you can leave it as, and you're not wasting the makeup. And for anything, you get more out of it. Or you can do what I'm teaching you guys and put it back into a pressed powder. So I'm just going to do this until there's just none of the big pieces left. And you're just pumping it. Okay, that should be it. And you're just left with a very powdery blush. As I said, you could either leave it like this, or you can just put it back into a pressed powder like I'm going to show you guys right now. So after this thing has dried, as you can see, it's basically dry already, you're going to put it back in the container. And make sure not to spill, because that happens a lot. And you're just going to pour it in there until you have all the makeup out of the bag. And as you can see, I spilled some there, which is not good, but that will have to do. Okay, and if there's any like little pieces left like this, just break it up while it's in the container already. Okay. And what you're going to do now is just even it out. Make sure there's no second layer. And that should be it like this. Let's break it up. Okay. This can be disposed. And now where the fun part comes in. We are going to use the 70% alcohol, or rubbing alcohol. I personally am going to use the cap for this, because I don't want to spill. As you can see, I just used the cap as a little cup to make sure I don't have excess alcohol and it could ruin it. Just put enough where you can see it's basically covered. As you can see, that's enough, since it is a big amount. And you're going to take the knife and stir it up. And make sure it turns into like this little paste, as you can see here. You can either use a smaller knife or a toothpick, but I recommend doing the butter knife. I'm just going to stir it up. What we're going to do now is flatten it and make it a nice layer. Like if you're just doing a cake, basically. I'm just doing a nice little cake. And make sure it's all even. And you just look like this. And there you go. Make sure you're not showing any of the bottom. And what you're going to do is going to get rid of all the air bubbles that's in it. So you're going to just drop it a couple times just to get rid of all the air bubbles that might have been in this. Okay. And what we're going to do now is just clean it up with some tissue paper. And just clean off all the edges. Because you want to make it look like you just bought it. Because, you want to renew the look. And yeah, that's all you're doing. And just let it dry for like an hour or 30 minutes. Okay, now that 40 minutes, 30 minutes have gone by, all you left with is just the same thing. So right now is just get the tissue paper, the one that you clean the edges on, it doesn't matter, and just put it on top of it, like this. And what you do is with the flat surface that you prefer, just dab it in very, very gently, just to absorb any alcohol that was left in it. So you're just dabbing this until you absorb most of it, or until you think it's ready. I'm just gently pressing on it. So that should be enough. And you're gonna, and now you're gonna gently remove the toilet paper or the tissue. And you can see it absorbed most of the alcohol. And if you want, you can redo it a couple more times, it doesn't matter. Just to be sure it absorbed all of it. And now left with a wet blush. and gently remove it. And there you go. Alright, I hit the camera. Okay, and now you just leave it to dry overnight. And that's it.